Hype. It's a gift and a curse for Supercell. On one hand, it captures player interest, it gets everyone talking, but if it turns out the update isn't all that, it can get rather awkward. Today, we're looking at the most overhyped updates in Clash of Clans history and what exactly caused it. So, let's get right into it.
Let's do this.
Shield Rework. You've likely heard countless times of the infamous Town Hall 11 update and how they reworked the shields and it almost killed the game. But if you were active at the time, you'd know that this was also one of the most overhyped updates in Clash history. It started before ClashCon 2015, a convention for everything Clash related that was held in Helsinki. That September, a community manager said the team was getting ready for a big update announcement that'll be announced at ClashCon. It was at this moment when people started to board the hype train, you know? However, at ClashCon, only Town Hall 11 content was shown. I mean, not only, it was good, but where's the big update? This is just a Town Hall. Then a developer would eventually respond saying there's going to be a lot more than just Town Hall 11, a new defense, and content coming in the next update. At the Clash team, we've been taking a pretty hard look at the overall Clash of Clans experience, what it means to be a Clasher, what it means to play this game, what it means to get dedicated to this game, and there's going to be changes coming across the board. It's not just Town Hall 11, but many, many more things. This is going to be one of the biggest updates we've ever had, and this is just tiny pieces of it. And man, oh man, did the community go absolutely nuts after hearing all this. The hype train was packed. We haven't even scratched the surface, guys. Let him cook. But it would turn out that what they were talking about all along was some shield changes. Yes, instead of keeping your Town Hall outside for a free shield the way it's been since 2012, you now had to put it inside. Aside from Town Hall 11, that was the supposed biggest update ever. Though the changes were good for the game's long-term health, 2015 players were not ready for such a dramatic change that they didn't even ask for. And it was just so disappointing because it was overhyped through the roof. Hero Journey. So to understand why this was overhyped, we have to understand the ore economy of the time. Ores were still scarce, there were too many equipment to buy and upgrade, and it was easy to fall behind. It was actually like this for a while, and in May 2026, they actually acknowledged this again and said they were working on a solution. And at the end, said, #ores for all. This was the beginning of the hype train. Players knew that something was coming that would help the ore economy, and it would give ores to everyone. Whoa. This was further teased in a state of gameplay blog post. One of these sections was called More, like more ore. And there they explained the feature they were working on months prior was ready to go. And that we will be able to upgrade equipment easier and try more epic equipment. And then finally in June 2026, the hero journey was added. Now, I can't stress this enough. Overhyped doesn't mean the update was bad. It's actually crazy good in my opinion as a catch-up mechanic. But overhyped just means expectations compared to what we got were not aligning. The main issue was that communication was flawed. They didn't stress enough that this was not a feature intended for current players. And that whole #ores for all just made it worse. That wasn't true. The rewards active players got was a fraction of what it would have been to go through it naturally. And some of the items that we did get or were supposed to get were bugged. On top of that, a bunch of magic items and snacks earned from it went to a temporary storage that expired in 24 hours. So a lot of it was wasted. Overall, I think it was a good update that was unfortunately overshadowed by poor communication, bugs, and most importantly, expectations that were not met. Eagle Artillery Decoration. So this started all the way back in November 2024. It was announced that the Eagle will be getting merged with the Town Hall. However, it was much more like it was being removed because the new Town Hall weapon was nothing like it. So besides the whole controversy with that, I won't open that can of worms right now, the community came up with an idea. How about they give us a smaller version of the Eagle Artillery as a decoration in remembrance of it? And surprisingly, Supercell actually liked the idea. In one AMA podcast in December 2024, community manager Ferry talked about it a little bit, and then in an interview that January, it was confirmed to be coming very soon.
We're definitely gonna have
a decoration for beloved Eager Artillery. It's to come very soon, to be honest. It's not like we're gonna have to wait like 6 months to get the decoration. It was something that we see in the next few months. We're gonna see that.
This obviously started to build some hype. But months went by and we got nothing. In July 2025, Fairy would say it was ready, and actually that it had several variations ready to go. They just had to pick which one slapped the most, you know? But again, months went by and nothing but hype building up for a decoration that everyone fantasized about. In December 2025, however, it finally got added. I'm not making fun of it. I actually like the design and the sounds. I mean, it was free too. Hard to complain about it, right? But it was not what players were expecting. I mean, it was being compared to a chicken head on a plate. Look how they massacred my boy. And again, it's hard to complain about something that's free. At least they did it, right? They didn't have to. But I think the fact that it took a year and everyone had expectations about what it should look like really overhyped this decoration beyond what Supercell could have imagined. Special prize. This was not an update, but it was still one of the most hilarious, overhyped things developers have ever done. So in December 2024, there was the usual Christmas events, and one of them was announced where you could earn free rewards every day by participating in the medal event. But what triggered the hype was what they said on social media. But what's behind that mysterious silhouette on the 25th? Let's just say you're all in for a surprise. Immediately, players were excited and couldn't wait to see what it was. And if you look closely, it does look like a chest. So players were speculating this has to be a legendary chest, or maybe a Christmas-themed chest for the first time. So then, days went by, over a week, and the super duper special prize ended up being a regular chest. I can't make this up. Why they ever thought it was a good idea to hype it up is anyone's guess. Now, there were other events and goodies to be won during the season. It's not like we just got this chest. But what made this so noteworthy was hyping up a single chest, and the community was just like, bruh, builder base. Alright, it's early 2017 and there hasn't been a major content update in 7 months. And that update was just the bomb tower and some quality of life changes. So realistically, the game hasn't changed much in well over a year. So players are hungry for content, and finally in May 2017, we get a glimpse of what is to come. A broken boat appears in everyone's villages, and when tapped, it reads, "Mysterious boat, where did this boat come from?" with a button that led you to a video of the barbarian, wizard, and hog rider asking, how do we get beyond the waters?
Why don't we just use that boat? So.
This was all very hype-worthy. I mean, what could this be, you know? This all happened on May 3rd, and for nearly 3 weeks, they would upload 5 Captain Log episodes that followed the hog sailing across the seas. After all this time, everyone agreed that whatever they're cooking cannot disappoint. I mean, they weren't even doing traditional sneak peeks, they are cooking up something extra special. And on the 22nd of May, they'd reveal what it was, the builder base. Now, initially, the update was a hit. Everyone was going nuts. A second village? Whoa! Everyone and their mama was redownloading the game. However, the hype would die down quick, and I mean very quick. Once players realized it was just a slower and smaller village, it didn't feel like Clash had changed at all. It was a decent update in my opinion, but it just wasn't for everyone. And for the people that didn't have interest in it, it was just some overhyped attempt at a second village. Same old, just a different village. Clan Notice. So when Global was removed all the way back in October 2019, they added a recruitment system in its place that was terrible. I mean, dog water. It had loads of issues, and for the next few years, it was largely ignored. Primarily because Clash developers weren't even the ones who made the feature. It was outsourced. So basically, they took Global away, replaced it with a system that somebody else made, and walked away. Finally though, throughout 2022 and 2023, developers were acknowledging the issue and talking about it here and there. And in early 2024 would reveal it was now in development. At last, the cries were heard. The team was no longer ignoring the elephant in the room. They finally undressed it. The hype was real, which was further amplified when developers gave it a name in April that year, Clan Discovery. Naturally, as one of the most requested features in the game, the hype was growing, and when news broke that the feature was ready, the hypometer was at its max. The clan notice was here, and I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't as great of a solution as everyone had hoped. It was better than the previous system, but not much more effective. You still couldn't communicate and recruit people, so to speak. And the fact that they removed the find members button and the notice itself was anyone can join was pretty lame. It just felt like a half-baked attempt at solving a huge issue. All in all, the hype did not match what we got, and we were back at square one with the whole recruiting thing. Heroes 2.0. Shortly after heroes were added and their abilities a year later, there were still some major flaws with them. Firstly, heroes could be lured half across the map before the attack even started, rendering them useless for defense. They were kinda dumb. And the abilities themselves were underwhelming to say the least. They were just very situational. So, in 2014, Supercell got to work, aiming to fix these issues, and that finally happened in July with the Heroes 2.0 update. At first, players were hyped. This is great! 2.0, the heroes are evolving! And this was further fueled by Supercell themselves, saying this version of Heroes was now stronger and smarter. The initial reaction was, man, they finally made Heroes heroes. The hype was real, until it wasn't. What Supercell failed to mention and communicate at all was that the heroes were also significantly nerfed. In almost every scenario, the heroes were now dealing way less DPS, like under half of what it did before. So basically, making them smarter came at a huge cost, and players were not happy. They felt ripped off. All the years of grinding and money they had spent felt wasted. It was so bad that it actually started a mass refund wave where players would get their money back, claiming the game had changed so much. It's one of the reasons they implemented a negative gem system. Anyway, this could have all been avoided if Supercell had communicated it better and not hyped it up like Heroes were evolving. Heroes, the sequel. No, not at all. It was just some glorified AI and balance changes, and that's all. But yeah, that wraps it up. Those are, in my opinion, the most overhyped updates in Clash of Clans history. Like I said, not bad updates by any means, just unfortunate cases where expectations were way beyond what we got. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Bye. YouTube thinks you'll like this next video, so check it out. As always, see you guys in the next one. Peace.